I'll squeeze my Rotten Tomato stress ball.
Yeah, you guys are on.
So how are you guys? Did you eat breakfast?
No.
Did you have coffee at least?
I'm so hungry.
Caffeine.
Yeah, well, we were all out late too, and I'm just like, it's kind of halftime. I'm really great.
Did you guys have a good time last night?
Yeah, we did.
Last
Actually,
night? Yeah, we had a lot of fun. As you can tell by my voice, the
Yeah, we're all
progressively gets worse as the
we're all just gonna sound like Barry White by the time. No, it's really cool. I'm like, a little bit hick, and I keep seeing people that
I keep telling him to stop fanboying so hard. I'm like, Jordan, stop.
I'm in mid-sense. I'm like, and it's Bryan Cranston. It's Bryan Cranston.
That's the woman who does Lois's voice on Family Guy.
Alex Borstein. I saw her last. Alex Borstein.
He does a fantastic impression of Lois from Family
God.
Guy, and he wouldn't do it. I was gonna try to make him do it.
I do several.
So now I'm putting him on the spot.
Now we have the chance.
Now you have to do
I
it.
hate you.
I always get all this stuff.
Seth MacFarlane's gonna call all of us and sue us all. So long as you're prepared for that lawsuit, I can do the voice.
We'll take it.
Sarah.
Right. So I just do it grateful.
Lois, you do Lois. It's the best.
Well, Lois is really hard because you got to get up to the higher body register, and it's crazy.
But Peter's he's pretty easy too. You just got to get to the Sony man.
We should talk about Orphan Black.
Yeah,
I can do with a voice while we talk about it.
You can answer all your questions.
It'd be great.
So Orphan Black.
Well, that kind of ties in directly, in a way, to Orphan Black because I think one of the things that everyone is so impressed about is like Tatiana's skill and your skill at sort of completely transforming yourself. Is that something that obviously during the audition phase, or have you always sort of had that ability to kind of do voices, do different accents, do different things?
Accents, yes. It was something that was really new to me was playing with physicality. Because I've always sort of been this like awkward, lanky beanpole. So what I did was in method we sometimes do animal exercises, and I decided to physicalize a feline because I felt that the animal represented a lot of the qualities that I saw in this person, and instead of trying to sort of like kind of mech my way through it, I just thought, okay, I'll play, you end up doing this weird exercise, climbing on house furniture as a cat and sort of getting the shoulders back, and I realized you discover all these different muscles and new tension, and it helps you to really become this person. And a lot of it was on the page. We had a few different versions of him. There was an American version. There was more of a London punk version, which was closer to Sarah. So the accent, instead of being up here in like a different register, it was much lower, and it was like, instead of saying like nothing, it was nothing, something, the body language changes all the time.
Don't you have Mick Jagger to thank too?
I do.
Yeah.
That's the big one. That was the legendary story is that after my animal exercise, there were still a couple of things missing. And I found this ridiculous video of David Bowie and Mick Jagger doing Dancing in the Street from the 1980s. And it was the way he was moving his lower body. It was the way he was sort of leading with his pelvis, leading with his... and I was like, oh, that's so, it's so confident, it's so sexual, it's so masculine and feminine at the same time. It's this weird, and Felix is sort of this odd sort of...
Odd duck.
He is an odd duck. He's this weird blend of masculine, feminine. Like, at some points he seems extremely effeminate, and other times you look at him and you're like, you seem like such a guy. I can't figure you out. You're so... And that's fun to play. I think that's very representative of...
He'll cut you if you cross him.
Oh, he's scrappy.
He'll definitely cut you.
So is Paul. Paul's pretty scrappy.
He's very scrappy.
It sounds like you a lot of times this season you kind of bailed her out. Which
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
What's it like to jump in and be a bartender at a party all of a sudden and stuff like that?
It was always kind of, I'd approach all of those scenes with, I'd done a kid show a few years ago. It was a wonderful experience. But, the networks are very conservative in terms of what you can and can't do. And so when I got this show, I was like, I think I'm really going to take the approach of always not, well, how do I play it safe, but what can I get away with? And Felix looks at all of these, everything that he does as an art project. It's all juicy. He doesn't go just because he has to. He doesn't go just because, that's a device the writers have used to sort of get him there. He goes because he gets juiced. He enjoys it. Whether or not anyone realizes, he really genuinely enjoys watching the drama unfold. He loves having, a disaster to take care of. And also because he's Sarah's younger brother, and I don't know if any of you are younger siblings, but there's this weird need to please your older sibling, to get their validation on a constant basis. You'll do anything for them. You don't really ask a lot of questions.
That's not true. I'm the youngest of my family, and
Are you really?
Yes. I don't try to please my sisters.
I do. My sisters will be like, they'll come home and they'll be like, Jordy, and I'm like, I'm exhausted. Maybe I've worked like 70 hours that week. And they're like, can you make me craft dinner? I'm like, yeah.
Sounds like they're taking advantage a little bit.
They are taking it. I love them.
But have you had his craft dinner?
I love to
It's
cook.
amazing.
Cooking and baking are like my de-stressors. I make a mean scone. If any of you guys ever want to come over.
Follow him on Instagram. It's like Martha Stewart. It's like following Martha Stewart. Just
I'm so
pies and
embarrassed by my
muffins.
Instagram because like I didn't know like what to put on Instagram, so I was like, I just would bake stuff and I made almond butter, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a photo of this almond butter.
So you have a picture of a pie and your almond
Well,
butter.
and then Tat comes on my Instagram and like calls me out, and she's like, "Shut up! If this is gonna be your Instagram, just a bunch of food."
So how's it feel, guys, to sort of capture lightning in a bottle with this show and all the reaction you're getting and everything?
Oh God, nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, we really, it's just to see it firsthand and be at Comic-Con and just to see the passion that the fans have for the show and the energy that they brought to our panels, and it's really overwhelming, actually.
Yeah, it was. We were actually talking about. We did a charitable panel before we did our public forum, which was Nerd HQ. It was Zach Levi's Conversations for a Cause, and it was.
The energy was just palpable in the
Yeah,
room, and it was just all three of us, like I hit it a little better, but they almost started.
I'm pretty lousy.
I held my
player.
tears in a little better, but
It was really quite emotional, and because you live in a bubble when you work, and the only contact that you ever really have with anyone who's watching the show is just through the little sound bites on social media.
And
you're
thank
like,
God for social media, because
Yeah.
the show's momentum seems to just continually to pick up and just to get strong. It's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
And I think with the DVDs coming out now too, I think that's kind of a
Yeah.
a push.
Well,
to
it's
get
such a
more
great
people
show to
involved.
binge watch too, right?
And like good old fashioned word of mouth as well. That's sort of what helped to spread this was just oh, I'm going to tell a friend.
And
to tell a
Patton
friend.
Oswalt as well.
Patton Oswalt.
We spoke to him for about a half hour. He's the most kind, funny, cool guy, and
He's so smart. Like I'm just like.
and everything he says is
amazing.
intelligently hysterical.
He's so
about it.
composed and articulate and poised, and I
But
just want to be him. When
He
I
was
grow up.
giving us his thoughts on season 2 and what he wanted to see happen as well.
And how he actually feels that Allison is way more of a psycho than
No,
Elena
and
was.
he thinks that Donnie, Allison's husband, is the biggest psychopath on the
Yes,
show to
that's
be
right.
with Allison.
Yeah.
So has anybody pitched him to be on the show yet?
We,
I mean, God, are you kidding
we
me?
pitched everybody. We want. I know Patrick J. Adams wants a guest.
Yeah, I
spot.
thought I saw a hashtag, please can I guest star?
Yeah, you did. Patton Oswalt, I'm
I
sure.
think Emma Roberts was really obsessed
Yeah,
with the
she
show
was, she
too.
was.
I mean, it's crazy.
You're all more than welcome if any. of
Yeah,
you
if
want
you guys want to guest star,
Hey.
you guys can come on.
I'm in Toronto.
My money's on Sissy though. I want Sissy Spacek.
Sissy Spacek with the gosh, are you kidding?
You talked about the process you go through to discover Felix, and we talked to the producers yesterday about Tatiana's process for each character.
Yeah.
She'll go through a dance for Casima,
Yeah,
she'll flitter around this way, sort of scarily, like that. Are you on set when she's doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
In the makeup trailer, like
Yeah.
she'll kind of start getting into
A lot
it.
of the transitions happen in the I stay in character the whole way through, and so what
He
we
does.
do
I'm
is,
always
like,
talking to Felix when you're getting your makeup done. It's really weird. I always feel like he's like hitting on Paul when I'm getting my makeup
Always.
done.
You
I'm like,
can't help it.
stop, Jordan.
And
The cameras aren't rolling.
Steven, the makeup artist, was like just in love with Felix, but like really never got to know Jordan. And then finally, on like one of the last days, he's like, "Jordan's just a bit boring, aren't you?" He's really Steven Lynch and Sandy
Very
Sokolowski are
talented.
the hair and makeup team behind the clones. They're
They did
probably the best in the business.
And
They're
Helena's
incredible.
her scars on her back too. That was,
Oh, yeah, those are
that was
brilliant.
really cool.
But
yeah.
we do get a chance to see some of the transitions happen. We try and give her as much as you can because it's
Because she's jumping
transforms
in and
within
out.
an hour and a half.
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty crazy.
really tough. So if you can, she loves improv. She did long form improv for years. So I'll ad lib and kind of, especially when she's Allison, we'll be improving off set and then kind of go into the scenes, cutting remarks, and she'll respond, and it just helps the set.
And when you're in a scene with Tatiana Maslany, it's like she's looking into your soul. Like, honestly, before the scene starts, like about a minute before she'll just stare at you.
There is something about
really like get this eye contact going with you, and I'm like, oh my god,
There's something
draws me in, you know.
When we had our first screen test, it was kind of like when I walked in, she was the only girl I hadn't rehearsed with, and you see her, and I just thought it was like seeing when I walked in the room, the executives were on the one side, and it was like wanting to say hi to a friend I hadn't seen in 20 years. I wanted to be like, "How's your husband? How's your kids?"
She's
you know,
one of the
how's-
sweetest girls
Yeah.
you will ever meet in your life. One of the most grounded individuals as well. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.